PTG Nation, thank you so much for tuning into the show. It is World Cup time, and this episode of the PTG show is brought to you by HK Army. The biggest paintball event in the history of the sport is just around the corner, and HK Army has the paint deal you cannot miss with $20 cases of paint for the whole squad. Yup, you heard me right. HK Army is back at it again, providing that top-tier pink shell, yellow fill paint for only $20 a case to ensure you dominate your competition at World Cup. Do not sleep on this opportunity because once it is gone, and it's going to sell out. Head on over to hkarmy.com/NXLpaint right now and reserve your paint today. Once again, that is hkarmy.com/NXLpaint to secure $20 cases of paint for World Cup from HK Army. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. This episode of the PTG show is brought to you by Andrew Lopez Law Professional Corporation, a California injury lawyer, and they are on a mission to get justice for their injury victims. Andrew Lopez Law provides comprehensive services from car accidents to slip and falls and handle a wide range of personal injury cases with expertise. Their recent victories include a $2.6 million jury verdict, a $560,000 settlement against a rideshare company, and with their expert legal representation, you can trust that a dedicated personal injury trial lawyer with years of experience will be fighting for your rights. Andrew Lopez Law is a family-run law firm with free consultations, personalized attention, compassionate support to guide you through every step, a proven track record. They're available 24/7, will work tirelessly to maximize your compensation you deserve, and they work with a no-win, no-fee policy, so you don't pay unless they win your case, which ensures you receive justice without the financial risk. If you're in need of an injury lawyer, then look no further and call Andrew Lopez Law PC at 213-474-1100 for your free consultation. And once again, that number is 213-474-1100. And also follow Andrew Lopez Law on Instagram at Andrew Lopez Law PC. And once again, their Instagram handle is Andrew Lopez Law PC. One last time, that number is 213-474-1100 for Andrew Lopez Law to fight for your injuries.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the episode that we know you have all been waiting for. Absolutely breaking news. Such a massive move in the industry. We have Raney, Stanczak, and Alex Goldman on to join us and talk about some offseason moves, our most recent move to Edmonton Impact, and so much more. You guys are not going to want to miss this one. Mouse does come in about an hour and 20 minutes into the show, something like that. So he's a little late as usual. Fashionably late, as he says, but you guys are definitely going to want to listen to the entire thing. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcello Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcello Margot was on fire.
PTG Nation, we got a moment. Oh my God. We got Raney, Stanczak in the building, and we got a portion of the upcoming 2025 Edmonton Impact roster here. Hopefully, we're going to see if Mouse will join us. We're not sure if he's going to make it in or not. But Rain Man, how you doing, bro?
I'm great, dude.
Yeah,
man, I'm excited for this season, dude. Can't wait. It feels like it's been a long off season, and it's what,
2
days
weeks
in?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah, and hey, for the listeners, that is the Polish pronunciation of Raney's last name. So for everyone that's like, oh,
Yes.
Tyler doesn't know his teammate's actual last name.
Official.
Talked about this. Yeah. It was kind of official. But
dude, Raney,
yeah.
where are you at? What are you doing right now?
I'm in Vegas.
Yeah,
Las
baby.
Vegas. Nice casino here.
He's in the room chilling.
I usually try to go the week. I usually try to fly straight from Florida to Vegas just to decompress. But
yeah,
I promised I'd go to Dave Bain's anniversary, which is the weekend usually right after Cup. He agreed to come to the poker show we did. So I was like, all right, I booked that flight a long time ago before any of this went down. And
yeah,
Capital Edge worked out.
Capital Edge Paintball Park, one of the best parks in the world, and it's going to be our home base for Edmonton Impact. So we're going to be out there quite a bit. Can't wait to see the local public out there in NorCal. That's where I grew up. I actually was there 17 years ago on the groundbreaking day that field opened, and that's where I cut my teeth with Oakland and a bunch of different teams out there up in Northern California. So we're stoked to be out there again with the squad. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, dude. I flew up there. Dave and I went to a basketball game, dude. Yeah, six seats, dude. It was awesome. So much fun.
Yeah, and obviously it's been a wild little off season here. I know it's pretty short time between World Cup and now, but a lot has happened, and we'll kind of dive into that because there's a lot of moves that have also happened during this short off season. I think we're going to see quite a few more, but everyone wants to know, obviously, the scoop on what's going on, how this all came to be, and how this crew that we started 20 plus years ago in pro paintball and from when we were just youngsters, how we're all back together, because it's pretty crazy. We started on this adventure a long time ago, and now we have this insane squad, including Dalton, Brandon, JC, Nick, the Yakamac brothers. We have the most
Arena
and Mike Arena,
Big Mike.
Dude, Big Mike,
yo.
Yeah, the enforcer, dude.
The enforcer.
And he's in Texas right now, but he's also going to be coming out my way towards Arizona, practicing out here with me and Dalton. And then we're going to be going over to California to see all of you in Southern California and be training out there. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, the people want to know, man, how did this all happen?
Well, that's funny about Urena is actually I've been worried that he's going to get me back because I've been getting him so much over the years that I go out in the field and I'm like, I'm just going to keep getting him like he already got me. So now I'm like, at least I don't have to worry about him punishing me because I think I've done him dirty a few times.
Dude,
more than
could happen in practice.
People. Yeah, that's true. Forget about that.
He's like, yeah, Raney.
He's one of the best mates, man. He really is, and one of the hardest working paintball players I've ever been around. And Marcello and myself actually got to kind of birth him into the really cutthroat, top tier pro paintball motion that he's been on when he came through with Dynasty, and to watch him develop from that time on Dynasty to what he's become today, and the way he carries himself and the way he works and the way he cares is really, really a special thing to see. And if anybody wants to emulate a paintball player, that guy is the one to emulate, because his work ethic and dedication and passion and to all the nuances and just caring so much is something that everyone can learn from.
Yeah, 100%. Mikey is the absolute man. He was one of the first people I called, actually, and just had a great phone conversation with him. He's amped up. He had a great season, obviously. His last couple of years with Dynasty as well, he was really emerging as, in my opinion, one of the best snake players in the game. But he's more versatile than that. I know, just kind of seeing some of the stuff online, people are like, oh, where is so-and-so going to play? What about the middle? This and that. Mikey is all over. He really can play all the spots, and he's a bruiser and a total enforcer. He works really hard. He plays all the time, so he's sharp. And ultimately, that's what I think this whole group is going to be. It's going to be, a bunch of really hungry, sharp, talented individuals, and being able to bring that together and pull from the IQ of all the players as well, and the coaching staff and just the organization. Impact is, a stout organization. There's a lot of opportunity here for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So back
absolutely.
to how this all started, since Marcello's since he's getting the blame for everything right now, and everyone's blasting him online. I'm going to blame Marcello for all this happening.
Get him.
Oh man, what a plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that Sacramento Kings game go, Raney?
Dude, that guy scored. He went, dude.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I'm
he
talking
was
about your conversations with Dave.
No, I'm talking about the game. He was down 18, and he scored 60 points. Yeah, I think a lot had transpired maybe by that weekend. Like, we had
Yeah.
talked. It all started with that baseball card, right? Us meeting together on Monday.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Monday after World Cup. Yeah, that is where it started. And it happened quick. It happened really fast.
yeah.
But I think
this
that's
is something we've joked about, right? Like, we've all
exactly.
we always would say, like, when are we gonna get the band back together? Even Damian Ryan would call me up. He's like, when are we getting all the guys back? When are we getting the boys back? When are we doing this? Like, when are we getting everyone together? And it was just like, it's kind of like a far-fetched idea. And so, like, every time even when I would hear it, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm in. Yeah, sure, I'm in. Yeah, this isn't happening. And this year, it just seemed like, I don't know. I think it was like a perfect storm for yourself, Marcello, for Tyler, and Mouse is always on the board for a move like this. And then
and for the
me,
listeners,
yeah.
Mouse was supposed to join us. He said he would be here at 8 a.m., but apparently he had a date last night. And I mean, that probably took a lot of energy out of him. I don't know. But we haven't heard from him this morning. So hopefully he can tune in here soon. We'll see.
Yeah, you guys were like, let's do this at 3:30. And I was looking at the time of the tournament. I'm like, I don't think it's legal for me to be on my phone at the tournament. But I was like, well, that's the worst thing I could do is I could probably just have it on, listening, just looking down, playing, folding, walking away. But yeah.
So what have you been getting into out there? You played a tournament already?
Yeah, I played a tournament last night. It didn't go well, but that's how tournaments are. Like, I mean, 15% of the time you'll make the money. 0.5% of the time you're going to win. So it's just kind of like the only thing you can do in these things is make mathematical good decisions, right? And try not to make mistakes. That's how I feel good. If I don't make mistakes, I'm okay. If I take a bad beat, whatever. The other week I went up to LA and played in a tournament and I played horrible. I made so many bad decisions. And it's like, why did I make bad decisions? And it's just, I rushed my thought process. Maybe I got distracted. Wasn't focused the whole time. And the moral of the story was that I didn't take my time. So yesterday I took my time, and at one point they were like counting out my chips, and the dealer was like, "Yeah, you look like you have." They're supposed to count them out, but sometimes the dealers don't do their job correctly. And she's like, "Oh, he has you covered," and I'm like, I already knew he had more chips than me just by looking at it, just slightly. So he had 38,000, I had 39,000, and the big blind's at 2,000. So it's like that's like nothing. I had 1,000 chips left, which is half a bet. This is the minimal amount I could have. And then I was like, no, I still have 1,000. And then the dealer's like, and then I get it all in the next hand. I double up, then double up, then double up. And I got right back in it. I got right back up to like 32,000. And then I ended up losing to 50-50. And so I milked it for 2 more hours. But there's a story about in the day called Chip in a Chair, where this guy basically goes all in, and he had a chip under a napkin, which is not legal now, right? But he had a chip under a napkin. He's like, I still got this chip. And then he comes back and wins the whole, I think it was like a WSOP event back in like the 70s or 80s.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but Raymond, let's continue down the path of you're right. It's like every offseason, we usually go out in Southern California and play together and just kind of have fun and enjoy the game. And we're like, man, at what point? But it's always kind of been an impossible thing because, everyone is getting paid on their respective teams. And it's like, it'd be a lot to get everyone back together. And obviously it's a big shift, and Impact is taking on, a massive risk here by bringing in, 4 new players when they've had quite a bit of success in the last 2 years. But yeah, let's kind of, continue talking about that and how that transpired. Cause I know that's what the people want to hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, we sat down on Monday. I got back, ran around. Like I bought a gun for one of the kids' teams I coached. I got him that. I was running around doing this. I wanted to get you this card. I kind of wanted to meet up with you and talk about paintball. Like I knew it was fresh in your mind and it was fresh in my mind. So then we sat down, had a good sushi meal. And then we were like, man, how do we do this? How do we get everyone, is this, maybe not 100% truthfulness, like not truthfulness, but not 100% like this was going to happen. Right. Like maybe still talking pipe dream conversation,
totally.
And then I was like, well, we could do this, you could do that, you go here, laying out all the options. And all year I was still trying to sell Mouse on coming to Damage, like that was still in the talks possibility of Mouse coming. But then Mouse talked to me and he was like, yeah, I've already, I'm like, I'm maybe going to go to another team, right? This other guy team reached out and And so that was Bart. And I wasn't sure if he was like committed. You never know what Mouse is doing. Maybe he's just thinking. And
but he's already told 3 teams yes, but he's
yes.
just thinking about it still.
He's just thinking, it depends on
I was trying to get him on Dynasty. I'm trying to get everybody on Dynasty every year. I'm like, that's never going to happen. They can't pay. It's just not going to work.
So then after we left our conversation, I think at some point I talked to Bart and I was like, Bart was reaching out to me. And again, like he reached out to me Sunday or Monday and I kind of just ignored it because again, I want time for this to like the season's not over. Like I don't go into this thinking about like my team for next year. I don't go into this like, hey, I want to make this move to this team. It's like, it's still a fresh wound when Cup ends. And sometimes like you need 2-3 weeks. Like I know I've made moves before and like it doesn't click for 3 weeks after the fact. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. On Sunday when I left Florida, I talked to Joey and Joey's like, well, I heard damage or I heard impact, this and that. And I was like, I haven't talked to them, which was truthful at the time. Like, like somebody came up to me this Saturday when we're about to play paintball fit, like, hey, what do you think about doing this? And I'm like, dude, this is a life or death situation right now in the match we're about to play. If we lose the fit, we don't even make it to Sunday. Like we have to beat them. There's a chance that like we had to go into that match and beat them by 5, which probably wouldn't have happened. But Aftermath won their game, so we were able to go into it. So, when we discuss these things, I wait till, just like all you guys, we wait till the end of the year, right? Just to be respectful. You never want to go to a team and have that team be like, this guy was talking to me middle of last season. So why is he not doing that to me right now? So I know paintball's weird in the sense that there's no agents, there's no this, there's no that. You have to do everything on your own. So there's no like kind of right or wrong way to do it. But I still feel like you should always wait till the last tournament's over until you had some like time, but
without a doubt,
talking with Bart afterwards, he was just like, I think he told me that he said he got Mouse, and I was like, well, you got one of the 4, so I mean we're 25% of the way there. And I was like, Tyler, you're an HK player, and he had the HK team, and I was like, well, that makes sense. So then it was just kind of selling the idea to Bart and Dave that this is the move. Like this is the move of all moves on the the board of paintball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it's tournament time and people are asking ridiculous questions, even for when I get home from a tournament, I am not talking to anybody. I can't even think about anything except for what just happened at the event. I'm like still pissed off. Even to this moment, I'm still pissed off. You know what I mean? Like if we're not winning, I'm not happy. I want to make sure that we have trophies in our hands. That is what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. So there's no other thoughts going through my mind while tournaments are going on, even week after. And then I get a call and you guys had said, you guys are doing this thing. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But I'm not going to be talking to somebody about being on another team while I'm still on a team. So I had so many people reaching out to me from literally every organization you can imagine. And, at the idea of possibly being able to add me to their roster. And I said, I'm standing by Randy. I'm not making any decisions until I hear what's going on. I didn't even know if I was going to have a job or not, but I'm not going to entertain ideas while still being on a team. So at that point, I made the decision to pretty much like enter free agency. And obviously I decided to join forces with the Edmonton Impact crew for a special moment. And that's really what this is. It's a pretty unique timestamp in the history of paintball to have this group of friends come together and be a part of Edmonton Impact and Bart Yakimak and Dave Baines. And I first and foremost want to say thank you so much to Randy and Mama D and the whole Heat family and everybody who gave me those opportunities. But I'm very excited to be with, some of my best friends. I'm also, another big decision for me was the fact that my dad has some pretty serious health problems going on where he has like seizures in his in like the prefrontal cortex of his brain essentially. And so I'll be able to see him like 6 to 8 more times a year, and he's going to come and like be in Sacramento because that's where I grew up. So I'm going to see my dad a lot more, be closer with the boys, and go chase these trophies. That's what we're doing out here.
Yeah, well said, Ty, for sure. Yeah, I think it was at the end of the day, it's an opportunity that none of us four could turn down. One, it's like we said, every offseason, we always talk about one day, if we would be able to play together again, and to have the opportunity to do that and, be in an organization like Impact, it was, can't turn it down. It's like, put up or shut up. We always say that, we could do so much together. So we shall see, and again, there's a whole other half to this team that has already been doing very well. So I'm excited to merge and play with them. And like Little B, obviously out of Southern California, he's always at the field. And I consider him like part of the same cloth as us. Mikey, JC's a dog, the Yakamack brothers, like Nick LaBall. There's a great group that we're coming into. And I think it's going to be kind of the perfect blend. I think there's like a great mix of versatility, that we can truly, I think I've been thinking about this quite a bit over the last, week, of different ways that we can play that hasn't quite been done. Last year, the Russians, they wanted their thing to be like aggression. We're going to be all out aggressive. And everyone was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Really, it's not actually. It's very beatable in my opinion. When they are on and everything is clicking and working and they're not getting shot off the break, it is really fun to watch and it's spectacular. And I think J-Rab obviously was a massive pickup for them because he was able to clean up, a lot of the chaos that they caused. But I think there's an opportunity here with the type of players that we have to really kind of shift how things are being done. With the versatility, which is excellent. And there's, a lot that I'm not going to share on the show. We could talk about it amongst ourselves, obviously, but like given with how a layout is, where players play and what we're doing and how we choose to attack, where from one event where our identity is this and another event, our identity is that, I think that could be a really tough thing to scout for. I think it could be a tough thing to play against. And to have the commitment from the players to be just so hungry for this to where we can talk paintball all week long. We can go out to the field midweek. We can practice. I'm excited. We're already talking about all the off-season practices that we're going to have and be able to go out together. We have a massive opportunity is the way I look at it. I look at what we can do and what we can accomplish, and it's pretty spectacular. And again, to do it with some of your best friends that we all played on the same team. I think that's another thing a lot of people don't realize because they're maybe newer to the sport, but chemistry and all that is probably going to be the least of our concerns. We've all played together, guesting on different teams and different iterations of teams and all on the same team, back in 2009 and a few years before, and kind of grew up in the same camp. So, again, just kind of looking forward to like bringing everything that we've learned, and everyone here has had so much of their own success throughout their career and bringing that all together and doing it in a way that benefits Edmonton Impact and the organization and learning from them as well. An organization that has won almost more than anybody, and had so much success themselves. And Bart is a consummate professional. Like having conversations with him has been really refreshing and great to just hear his like passion for the game. And Dave also, same thing, one of the best coaches in the game. I think I told both of you guys, like, I picked up any time we would play Impact, Dave would make calls, at the box that were so spot on. And throughout the match, I would pick up on exactly what he was calling. I'm like, fuck, they know exactly what we're doing. No matter how we hide it, no matter how we disguise, no matter our shifts, our changes, they know exactly what we're doing. And it would produce a kill or two off the break. It happened at World Cup a bunch. He would tell Mikey to basically shoot this tight shot for Archie. I was trying to get our guys. I was like, hey, if we hear this, let's just go to the snake because the back center shooter's not shooting at, he's shooting at Archie. So let's at least take that risk. And that kind of stuff again is powerful. I think he's, a well-studied, world-renowned coach. Obviously was a top-tier player, Hall of Fame player. So again, the opportunity is endless here.
Yeah, those two dudes are like, I've stolen so many things out of their arsenal that like I still use things. I told Bart this a while back. I'm like, I've taken so many pages out of his life and implemented it into mine, whether I'm coaching, playing, or just off the field. And it's like, they're game changing, like, I don't even want to say what the things are, dude, it's invaluable. I mean, like, I'll
give the people one, give them one
for free. So like, Bart will always reference, like, he has these best speeches. Like, he always talks, and it's just like he's so spot on about what he says. And I'm like, how do you just come up like
Mhm.
with this stuff? And he always references his phone, and he basically just has notes, right? And he just goes down these list of things. And I do the same thing. Like, I have notes in here for my Sicarios. I have notes in here for damage. I have notes in here for stocks or what, or this or that. So like anytime I was on the plane flights, everyone's like, "Oh man, those plane flights to Florida." Ugh. And I was like, "Bro, those were my best thinking times about the field because I'd
Mhm.
have 5 hours. I'd go on my phone. I'd study the calls for damage. I'd study everything, and then
Yeah.
I'd write down notes, right? And I'd write down what we could do, this, and that. Now, whatever I used them or not, maybe not. But when I got on the X Factor, the first weekend I got there, they all looked at me like, what do you got for us? And I'm like, because X Factor would lose the Impact all the time. So they were like, did they treat us differently? Billy's like this and that. And so I left that first practice going, okay, I'm in trouble here. What do I got to do? And then I got on the phone and I was like, and I literally took it from Bart and I just started writing down everything that came to my head. So then when we got in these circles, in these meetings, I'd pull out my phone and I just start reading it out. And it got to the point where it was almost like you seen in Waterboy where they got the playbook with all the special plays. It almost felt like that. Like, all right, what does the book say? And I just pull it out and I would just reference it. And then like the other thing is it's healthy for like when you're leaving a tournament, right? And you're frustrated and like you're upset, Tyler. Like, you're like, we could have done this, we could have
Yeah.
done that. Da 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 da. If you put it all down on the phone, it's like out of your soul,
Mhm.
and then you didn't forget about it. You're not like pushing it off and being like out to the side.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'm compartmentalizing this. I'm
But you're not
saving this for
harboring
later.
it and like, yeah.
Yes. And when
Uh-huh.
the time is right, I'm going to pull it out. And then you
Yeah.
never forget, you never go to sleep on ideas, and you can always reference it. And then I also have like a notebook where I'll write things down. So I'll
Mhm.
do that for like a checklist of daily activity, stocks, this or that, money goals, whatever it is, poker goals. And then you
Absolutely.
check those things off. And then when you go back and look at them, like, oh my God, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, rather
That's right.
than them just being ideas in your head. So that one thing from Bart right there just changed my life dramatically.
I mean, what we've talked about this on the show a few times, I'm sure, but what else is this experience but words, man? It's the words you speak to yourself. It's the words you write down. It's the words you look at every day. It's how your self-talk. And bro, I got so many Post-its over here. It's all I do is write things down on Post-its and post them everywhere. I got notes, written here. I've got notes from every single show we've ever done compiled, just hundreds and hundreds of sheets of paper that have every conversation we've ever had on this show that I'm really looking forward to, like, going through. Yeah, Marchie's got his notes.
I
It's
used to
all
do the
about the words,
notepads,
man. Yeah,
but the notebook was better because then the notepads, I would have like these sheets everywhere, and I'm like, where's
hmm
this? Where's this
yeah,
one? Whereas at least in the notebook, it's like chronological where I could just go,
that's right. So
all right, this is
the phone is like long term. These are for the quick, all the things that I got to accomplish in my day. And then you
Mhm.
have, I have a database in the phone of just like information that I'll need for the future, or long term plays and stuff like that. But it's super important to be writing things down, be looking at things constantly, reading. We had that conversation with Riley Hawk, picked up the book that he was talking about, reading that. Everyone that has a good book, I try to pick those up and read them, and just be giving your mind the fuel it needs to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. And if you haven't set them, write them down and look at them so you can know what you want to do every single day. You look at it. And when you do things like that, you're moving into the future and you're creating it. You're moving with power.
No, 100%. Dave asked me, like, how serious you are about this off season and this and that. And I was like, Dave, I already have the 2024 off season notes before the season even ended. Whether I won World Cup or not, like whether I was upset or sad, I already had it set for what I was going to do this off season. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
if we win, I'm still doing these things. If
Yeah.
I lose, I'm still doing these things. No matter what it is, I have to stick to this regimen in order for next season to be successful.
Yep. I'm going to just hit you with the hard question right off the bat. The expectations, obviously, for our team are through the roof. They're sky high, what people expect of us. How do you handle that kind of pressure, or move into that and make sure that you can still just do what you need to do?
I mean, I enjoy pressure. I was the kid that would wait till the last minute to do a project or study for something, and I'd be better about it now. And like, man, that's
I did the same thing.
dude, it would feel so great. Like I remember this class I took, and this teacher's like in college, she's like, you cannot wait to the last minute. There was one class like that where
You get more time to think about it, you know?
Yes, but I would literally, I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up at like 10 o'clock at night, and from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m., I would power through this whole thing. And then I come into class, headphones in, not talking to anyone, because that's like another thing. People are like, oh my God, they're worried about this. I'm like, nope, I'm going to ace this thing. I go out there and ace it. Now, paintball, you can't do that, right? You got to prepare. So it's like, I'm not worried about the pressure. It just kind of puts a little more weight on things, and it just makes it fun. I've had people, even to this day, even to right now, I just like little slights of people giving you a grade or doing this or doing that. And I'm like, I'm used to it. I'm used to it being like people doubting me or saying, he's not that good, whatever it is. Like, it's always these little slights. So it's just like, just extra motivation at the end of the day. I'm not worried about the pressure. People want us to fail. I'm reading those comments, screenshot this one, screenshot this one. I remember on X Factor, when I first got to that team, someone's like, oh, they're not going to, no difference. They're still going to be a losing team. Like, somebody said something like that in the comments. And then when we won 3 tournaments later, I went back in the comment and go, that didn't take too long. Just cooked them. And he's like, all right, respect, so it's all right. I don't mind that. I don't mind the pressure.
Thrive in it.
Yeah, I think the pressure is going to be a good thing for everybody, in the sense that that means we have a hell of an opportunity. I think it's important for all of us to not focus on the outside stuff. I think it's important to focus on what we have right in front of us. We have, again, everything we need to be able to go and do what we want. You're not going to win everything. It doesn't matter what roster you have. It's just not how the game goes. You're not going to win all 5 events. You're going to have a lot of trials and error. And I think if we're patient with each other and we really, buckle down and get to it and, understand that the process is going to be fun, but also a little difficult and a little challenging, I don't see a way that we do fail. So,
well, you know what?
Again,
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, to me, again, it's the opportunity to just see if we can do what we all believe we can do. So I don't care how it turns out. I just, Raney, you said something kind of powerful. When we were talking about this, it was like, you don't want to look back, and you posted that video as well, the Matthew McConaughey video online, but it's so true. Like, you don't want to look back and say, what if in 10 years when we're done playing, you don't want to look back and say, we always talked about, what we could all accomplish together. We had an opportunity to do it and we didn't even take the chance. So whether we fail, whether we succeed, that actually doesn't matter as much to me. What matters is that we all are kind of taking this leap of faith together. And we're going to see. And it's a great challenge. And you're never going to know unless you take that leap. And if it doesn't work, guess what? It is what it is. We tried. We're going to enjoy the process. And we've all had incredibly storied careers. But I think it's going to work. I really do. I believe that in my heart and soul. I know you guys do too. So all that stuff is really just noise. And you're right. Some of it is fuel. There's been a few comments that I've seen where I'm like, okay, that checks out. Perfect. Noted. Any kind of motivation, that you can get is probably good. I use all sorts of stuff around me. It doesn't matter. I'll take something that might not even be that bad. And I'm like, I'm holding on to that because that is motivation, and it's not in a negative way. Like, it doesn't consume me, but it's there. It's a little source of fuel when I need it. I've been slighted many times, again, all of us have. I think probably any athlete in the upper range of whatever sport they're doing, you're going to get slighted. You're not going to please everybody. There's going to be people that don't like you. Yeah. So to me, it's about the opportunity here. It really is. So it's either going to work or it's not. There's no in between. So
yeah, let's go. It's personal.
We have a chance.
Yeah. And we don't have to do it alone. I think that's the most empowering thing to me is I'm not alone. I have you guys, I have Dalty, I have Nick, I have Brandon, I have JC, I have Mikey, I've got Mouse, I've got the whole gang, I've got the Yakamac family.
Might have Mouse. He's going to be late.
Yeah. Where is he? Where's this guy?
Might have Mouse.
And then we got, Dave and Bart. And it's a really special moment. We're excited for it. And just hungry to keep having fun and showing love for paintball. Really, this is a big moment for the game too. There's a lot of big things happening in paintball. Hopefully we can help take this sport to where it deserves to be. We need to get out of the woods. We're still in the woods. We got to get out of the woods. And don't get me wrong, it's a metaphor. I love woods ball. It's how I started. But what I'm saying is the general public thinks that we all still play paintball in the woods. And that is our mission, is to show people what we do. And I think that we can do some really special stuff with this squad and have some fun highlighting this amazing game we all play, man.
Yeah, I've been invited to do some things like during the off season, and I'm like, I can't lock up that weekend. Sorry. Like, can you come snowboarding in February?
Same.
I'm like, ooh, February is a month before the event. No, can't do that. I can't. Like, I can maybe hit it like a Tuesday, a Thursday type deal, but I'm like, I'm not committing any weekends as of now, you know. And like the team, I coach, I spent so many weekends coaching them last year. And they haven't even really heard it from me, so they'll hear it here. But I'm like, the amount of weekends I'll be able to coach will be dictated on how many weekends we want to play. Because like, that's priority number one. You know what I mean? Like last year, it was, I played every week, like on a Thursday or Wednesday by myself. Because, you know, my guys are, you know, they're in Florida, which I think, you know, Marky, I was talking to Mark Ireland about this, and he understood why I did it. He's like, you get to play with your boys. Like, there's, you know, no question. And it's like, now I don't have to, like, I went to the field sometimes after Vegas when we did horrible, and I couldn't even get on a game. Like, Aftermath had a field, Bloodhawks had a field rented with someone, Academy had a field, and then there was the pickup game field. And I was like, I don't got 5 to jump on the blacktop. Like, nobody even wants me to play. I'm like, all right. I drove to ASG one Saturday, and then I had drove home. I had nowhere to play. I mean, it was raining, and I didn't care. I forgot the plate in the back of my gun, didn't care. Didn't have a pack. I was like, I'm still playing. But then I couldn't play. I just literally drove to ASG, drove home. I was like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Now we got a crew.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it too. Again, and I want to I just want to reiterate the importance of Paintball Fit's winning World Cup. I really think it just shattered the meta of the last maybe decade in professional paintball that I think was incredibly toxic and made our sport less professional than what it should be. This season, you had all of the, you know, air quote lower tier teams that really gave the air quote higher tier teams a fight. And every match was really tough. Every match you were kind of going into the deep end, and you were winning by a couple points or a point. And I believe that is a byproduct of how much these quote air quote lower tier teams have been playing. They play together just about every weekend. Aftermath plays together every single weekend. Fit plays together 3-4 times a week. You know, these teams, they play a lot of paintball and together. Whereas all of the, you know, like say the top 6 teams, they kind of have players from all over the country for one. So they only get together the 2 weekends before an event, and they try to cram in a bunch of practice and chemistry and all of that leading into an NXL. And it has worked up until this point because the experience gap has been so big. But the skill gap and other things, other intangibles are starting to reveal themselves. And I believe this year we saw that across the board. And I believe Paintball Fit winning World Cup was so good for paintball because it really showed that if you really treat this like a true professional sport and you play all the time and you do it together and you build that chemistry, we can be so much better than what we have been recently, right? So this opportunity for us all to play together in Southern California or up in Northern California as much as we want, as much as we're able to. You know, I'm feeling incredibly fortunate. I don't have to fill every weekend with a clinic so that I can, you know, pay my bills. I'm able to dedicate those weekends to actually seeing how good I could get at a game that I've dedicated majority of my life to. You know, I can actually see what's possible within my skill set. What kind of boundaries can I push? What kind of limits can you guys push out of me? And can I help push out of you guys? You know, the fact that we're going to get that opportunity to do it together with a group that's known each other this long and be able to play as much as we want, man, again, I just think it's powerful. I think it'll be incredibly fun. I'm not worried about the results. We can't worry about that. Let's do the work and see where the results fall. But I think they're going to be good. You know, I think they're going to be really good. So that to me, I think is again, you know, Fit kind of shifted the dynamic because you could go in and you could win Texas, you could win Vegas, you can make a deep run in one of these tournaments. World Cup, we've never seen that. One of the best teams throughout the season is always the team that wins World Cup. You know, it's always a top team that wins World Cup. It's never a dark horse that wins World Cup. So for them to do that is so special. And again, just as like, boom, everybody, league, you better wake up. You better wake up, league, because if you think you can just have all the high-end players and only play 2 weekends before an event, it's just probably not going to work out too great for you. It's not enough paintball. It is not enough paintball.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like in the past, when there's a challenger, you only need to win 2 games on Sunday to win a tournament. So you're like, all right, we get lucky in one and get lucky in another. Like, and then even sometimes you could have like a good bracket come out and only have to play 3 on Sunday, and maybe you line up where you play a team and you beat them, and then maybe that team beat another team and they haven't been in that spot, and then they win it, and then you get to the finals and it's like almost a coin flip. I mean, they went through the gauntlet of teams. They played 4 teams. The only team they didn't beat was Dynasty, but they beat us. They beat
Russian Legion.
Russians. They beat Diesel, who honestly they have not looked good until this event. Like, I was like, man, they could legit win it. Mouse was going off, and I was like, I was rooting for Mouse. You know, I was watching him go off against Scalp. I'm like, dude, he hit it like 4 seconds before that. I was like trying not to scream in the pit. I think Scalp was there. They looked at me and I was like, oh, my bad, I'll get out of here. But like, I was rooting for him, and I was like, bro, if he could, like, as a paintball fan, I wanted to see him win because that story was awesome. And then I was yelling at the iPad when I was watching it at the house, screaming at them when they lost that match. I was like, oh, and then it goes on and they're playing Impact, and when they conceded with 1:10, I was like, what is their coach doing? They had to win that point. There's no way those dudes are coming back down 2 points with that little time. And then they did it, and I was like, before they went to overtime, I was like, it's over. They're winning.
It's over. They're winning. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was another crazy thing too, is like Fitz identity has always been the slow game. Shoot people off the break, survive, be hard to kill. That's been their identity. Winning quick points is not their identity at all. And then you go and you win World Cup against Edmonton Impact in that fashion, needing to score 2 points with the 1:10 was just like, poof.
Unreal.
Okay, boys. We see you.
It was crazy.
Salute. Yeah.
I was holding my brain. What just happened?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Me and Oliver, I think I told it on that other show, we were just sitting there watching, and we are like, what is happening right now? This is crazy. And they did it.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because I was talking to Cyrus. For everyone who doesn't know, Cyrus plays on one of my divisional teams, right? We luckily somehow, just the way the universe worked, we were able to pick him up for our team, right? And that's really when our team started like turning a page, right? We stopped trying to pick up a bunch of randoms. Like, let's stick to our core. Let's try to get in like a hired gun that's like really on the up and up. And that was Cyrus, and he helped us. We went on like, he came in, I think we got a 5th, but then we got a 1st, a 2nd, and then a 1st this year. It's easy to win a double OT one-on-one when I can send a pro out there against a D3 kid. But he called me up in the beginning of the year, and he's like, what do you think? He's like, this pro team asked me, this pro team asked me. And like, I was like, I could hear it in his voice. He already made a decision. I was like, well, it's already obvious you want to make your decision. So we hang up, and I text him back. I'm like, well, you already got the cowboy hat, dude. Like, dude, you're made for paintball fit, So to see him go there and progress where he wasn't playing the first event, then he played well at the second event. He's playing this middle spot, making a lot of clutch shots, playing real tight. He had a good shot on the snake guy by being real tall. And then Chicago. I didn't see him play Philly. I didn't watch that match, but Chicago, he played on the 2 on the Dorito side. And then at World Cup, he was like, I love doing that. I remember I used to do that. It's floating in the open, just going, I'm going to be here. Shoot me. Good luck. And he did it point after point after point, and then attacked the middle, got out to the snake corner. He was balanced in where he went and what he did. And dude, he stunted. And it was just awesome to see like that dude put in so much work and for it to pay off and like hit the ultimate of ultimate payouts, right? MVP, World Cup, Pro Finals win. Unreal.
Because I remember seeing him come out and playing with you guys. Sicario's D3. I'm like, who is this guy? He had the cowboy hat on, so he's like, every time you see him, he's just you're like, oh, that's Cyrus. Okay, cool. Watching he played pretty good. I remember he, because he's one of the GOATs too as well in PTG, and he was talking about the opportunity to go play with Fit, and he was like, they want me to move out there, and I think this is great. And I'm like, I don't know if you're ready, honestly, but go for it. Cool. And to see his arc throughout the season is just incredible. And at World Cup is like, I look at players that have good moments or good points. And, there's 2 types of success on a field. There's there's circumstantial success. It's like, okay, you make the snake on the break, your teammate shot the wide body, and you just crawl all the way down and you shoot 3 people. To me, that doesn't make you a great paintball player. Doing the hard work and making really tough decisions, making good decisions on the field, that's what makes a good paintball player, in my opinion. And at World Cup, he just made good decision after good decision after good decision. He was really predictive and understanding of what the other team was going to try to do. He was varied. He wasn't scoutable. Like, it was always something a little different. I just thought he did a really kind of put together a masterclass. And for a rookie to do that, I know there's all the talks of who's going to be rookie of the year. And Archie Barnes Jr. had a stellar year as well, but I don't know how you don't give it to the one that won the World Cup finals and World Cup. I get, like, he didn't play the first event and yada, 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 but that's it. If I had a vote, which I don't, that would definitely be my vote, just because the way he performed in the biggest moment in paintball.
So for the side conversation, let's go over here for rookie of the year. Like, okay, first off, Archie Barnes has been in the pro league before.
Thank you.
So here, this is how it is. Like, I'm a baseball person. So, like, some years they don't count your first year if you don't play more than like 16, 20 games, right?
Right.
Chavez, he had a great year, but he already had
been there.
Year.
He already had it.
The guy from Uprising, Meterman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stellar for those last 2 events, but he didn't really play the first 3 events. So is this his rookie year or not? Cyrus had great World Cup, so he's obviously in the conversation, but it has to be someone that I think has done well through event 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, who, like, consistently played pretty well. So, like, there's a couple guys on Blast Camp that, like, I feel like are in the conversation that people aren't talking about.
Soap for sure. Yeah. John Charbonneau, I think is how you say his last name. Maybe I botched
and then
that.
Even Lapa.
La Papa.
Yeah. So, like, there's those guys, and they played. They didn't really have this, like, event that went real high up. They just did pretty well and gave. You know what I mean? So, like, there's guys on that team. So yeah.
I just don't know how it's not Cyrus. Again, winning the World Cup and being the MVP of the event is that is the biggest accolade you can get in the sport of paintball. And you get it in your rookie year. I don't care if you didn't play the first event, bro. That actually makes it even more spectacular. Like, to me, it is not even a conversation. If it goes to anyone else, crazy. But I get it.
In baseball, right? So Jackson Merrill had all these clutch moments, right?
Yeah.
And he was for the Padres. He had all these clutch moments, but they gave it to the pitcher from Pittsburgh who just had a crushing year at all these things, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a guy that maybe he did okay throughout the year, and then he won the World Series and went off in the World Series. Do you give him the rookie of the year because he went off in the World Series, or do you give it to someone that was consistent throughout the year? So that's where, like, I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
Yeah. I think you could argue he was also consistent throughout the year, though. Again, like, outside of not playing the first event, like, Fit, I mean, we played against Fit and lost to them twice. We lost to them in Texas and we lost to them in Chicago. And in Chicago, he played a lot against us and was a key component to a lot of the points they won.
And he won one-on-ones in Chicago.
Yeah, dude. Like, I just don't know how, because you're right, Raney. It's got to be a little bit of both for sure. It can't just be like if I'm only looking at World Cup and he stunk the rest of the year, like, okay, maybe I would probably still vote that way just because the magnitude of the moment and, like, that is our Super Bowl. And to do it as a rookie with a team that everyone thought was not even going to make Sunday. And that's, I mean, they have a team full of players that could also be in the conversation. But for him to be consistent throughout the season, for Fit to overachieve, obviously not to their standards, but to what, all the analysts and commentators and even pro players kind of, placed on them, man, I don't know how it's not him.
So having the conversation now I'm agreeing with you that he's the rookie of the year because I can think of 3 out of 5 events. And I don't remember the Atlantic City. I don't remember watching those games. So I want to go back and watch those, but you're right. He won a huge one-on-one on Sunday in Chicago. And that was the game defining moment. I think it was against Infamous. It was 2-1 and he wins a one-on-one. It's 2-2. You go back and you're like, oh, but instead he wins it 3-1. And it was almost like the GGG, it was like the moment. So another thing I'll give him credit to is, like, when we were at the events and I was coaching, like, he, like, was almost like for the first, like, I don't know, day or two, he was kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. I'm like, why is he following me around and asking me all these, what is going on? And I'm like, and then it just clicked. And I was like, bro, this dude is a student of the game. He just wants to like know what's going on, understand the game, get the maximum value out of him coming out of this opportunity. And then I was like, great. I love this dude. Like, let me just be a better coach and not just be like annoyed because I'm trying to watch a game. Like, let me feed this dude, you know?
This
man,
actually, we have a perfect question for this from Patty Rice in the Discord. And if you haven't joined the PTG World Chat Discord, go to our website, ptgpodcast.com, click that orange Patreon link, and you could try it for free and become a part of our community. Check it out. Sound off also in the chat, everybody, on your predictions for the Rookie of the Year this year. We want to hear what you all have to say. And Patty Rice is wondering, has to do with Cyrus, what does it mean to you as a coach to see a player that you've taught and really taken under your wing in Cyrus win the World Cup and the MVP?
Well, let's get one thing straight. He helped our team. You know, I didn't really take him under my wing. Like, I'm not going to take all that credit, right? Dude, that dude.
But you did. You helped him a lot. And he says
a little bit. He was on this road to go. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just able to, you know, hop on that and piggyback that a little bit and help my team. Right. And I mean, realistically, he came out, played 3 or 4 events with us. And so I got to give him some information and talk to him a bit, but that dude's work ethic and like what he was trying to do and how much time he puts in. And he's talking about driving from New Orleans to Florida, 6 hours back and forth. Like, he was going to get there one way or the other. And I was just able to benefit off his hard work. So it does mean a lot, but man, let's not, I don't want people to think, Raney taught this dude. I'm like, dude, that's far from the truth. You know what I mean? Like,
that was what he was saying. We had him on the show. He said you taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, right. No, that dude's a humble dude, and you know he deserves all the credit for what his success is. And
yeah, he is.
I got to give him a little tidbits here and there.
Well, a tidbit from Raney goes a long way. You know, it's all about, we call it like cracking the codes. There's all these codes that you have to break through in this game. And there's a lot of layers and a lot of time that it takes to break those codes. So if you can get fast-tracked by a great mind who's already spent years breaking that code down, it is a tremendous help, and obviously helped him a lot and will continue to help him. And he's going to be working on all those different codes that he has with his team. But it's a fun game. Paintball is much more than people give it credit for, because you just see us, you know, in our uniforms with our paintball guns and we go out there and battle. But there are so many nuances and little intricacies that go into being successful on and off the field that you've got to work through before you can, you know, win big tournaments.
So I was listening to somebody discuss something, just to add to this. They're talking about, you know, your first part of your stage of life. You learn, then you earn, and then you return. So it's like, as you get older in paintball, you have to return what you've learned, you know, over the years back to like the younger generation, because otherwise it's like it's going to fall apart, you know, and it's going to disappear, and what you did doesn't mean anything. So it's like, from all the guys I learned, from the Barts, the Daves, the Shane Pastanas, you know, the Chris Lasoyas, all those dudes, like, you've learned from them. So now it's just like, you got to return that knowledge to the guys that are, you know, willing to put in the time and be hungry. And, you know, that's one of those dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. We see you out there if you're working hard. We know.
And yeah, real quick, it was definitely Archie Barnes Jr.'s second season. So I think more so probably breakout player of the year with how he played. He played stellar.
Yes.
And we're supposed to have him on the show here too, talking about his move. He just made a big move to Revo. I think he's going to help them tremendously. You know, it's a good pickup. Revo also got Omara back.
Yeah, let's dive into the off-season type of moves that we've actually had.
Craziness, a lot of
going
craziness
on. And then we'll get into some predictions as well if we think anything else is going to happen. But yeah, we have Frank Antetomaso went to the Bears. That was, you know,
that got released.
That is happening.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Just did.
It's happening. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that dude is a huge asset to any team that he goes to. And there's some subliminality that I think I've read through in some posts being made and that he's made. So it's more like an allegedly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he also posted stuff with Aftermath and with Thomas Kim. So is it Aftershock? Is it Aftermath? Is it the Bears?
We're gonna see.
Who was he on before this?
He was with Revo.
Revo.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was with Revo. I don't know why I was thinking
Yeah.
he was with the Bears. Okay, yeah, he's with Revo. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see where he finally ends up. I don't think he's going to be back with Revo, but he could still. Who knows? He might be back with Revo. But that's kind of a player that we'll keep our eye on and see where they're going to be moving during this offseason. And then Stephen Amara to Revo, Connor Kelly to Aftershock. That's a huge pickup.
That is
for
a huge
Aftershock.
pickup for sure.
The kid's a
Yeah.
beast, absolute animal.
Yeah.
ABJ.
That's who it was. The other player in the running for Rookie of the Year was Ryan Hoskinson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hosky was definitely in the running for sure. I would argue he's runner up, and that's probably going to be the toughest decision, either him or Cyrus, and it's going to be what you value more. Consistency throughout the year.
They had a consistent year, right? I mean,
Yeah.
minus that first event where they went 1-3. They made a Sunday. They got a top 4 the second event, right? They got second the third event, and then they lost that close game. They're up 3-0 on X Factor, and then lost that one to them. So they got like a top 8, and then at World Cup they lost to you guys, Marcello. Yeah. So I mean, and he played
1 point.
he played well. So that is someone. So that's the two guys you're arguing with, Cyrus and Hosky.
Yeah,
Definitely. ABJ to Revo, that's big. He's going to help them out a lot. He had a tremendous year. That dude was just smashing down the snake side and had a really successful season out there. So excited to see what he can put together with those guys. Another big offseason prediction or name that we'll be keeping an eye on is J-Rab. I'm curious to see if he's going to stay with Russia or if he's going to be making a move to another team. We'll be sure to keep you guys posted on that as we hear anything.
He has a really good situation with Legion. It offers him the ability to play a lot. I think that was a huge key to his, on-field performance. He looked like, as sharp as ever. Yeah, I don't know really why he would leave, but who knows? Yeah, it's definitely a name to keep an eye on. It's been floating around out there, but we'll see.
I would be surprised if he was to leave Russia just because of what they've built. And like you said, having that squad there in Florida, the amount of work that they can put in. And from what I heard, he's doubling down on the work too. They're all doubling down. They didn't get the job done that they set out to do. So they're doubling down on their work, and they're going to be working harder than they've ever worked, which is crazy because they just easily outworked 99% of the league in this last season with how much that they put into it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not about that.
I mean, they had a crazy year. They lost 3 matches. Somebody said they lost 4. I talked. You know how you made a big move during the offseason? Tom Cole called you. I was like,
he called me too. He was real sad.
I was like, this telemarketer, what's going on? And I'm like, Tom's like, you don't have my number saved? I'm like, I'm sorry, Tom. I played a 10-man with you. We broke bread. I'm sorry, I don't have your number. I'll save it now. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, man, congrats. And I was like, so it's a big move when you call. But he was like, he said they lost 4 games this year, and I can only think of 3. They lost to Dynasty at Vegas. They went undefeated the second.
They lost to us twice in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, in the prelims?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 4. That is crazy though. That is crazy.
Yep.
It's a powerhouse team, man. They work their butts off. And you kind of alluded to something when you said it's not all about that. What, in your mind, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you can do a million snap shooting drills. You can do a million 3-on-3s and this and that, but there are other things that go into winning championships, right? And, energy, chemistry, camaraderie, like these things are really important. And it's not just about, working harder. It's about finding ways to work together. And, the dumb cliche of work smarter, not harder, is definitely a thing, especially as we get older. But you need to make sure that going into an event, everybody is in the right mental space. And so whatever that takes for a team or for individual players, sometimes it is like getting more and more and more reps. I know some events, that's what I need. And then other events, I need a little bit of like, I would rather watch more film than actually go to the field. I need a little bit of rest. And then I find when I go to the field, I feel really hungry and energized. It's different than it was when I was 22, 23 years old. So I think it's understanding how unique each player on the team is, and especially a team like ourselves, where it's a lot of experienced players. it's going to be much different than a team like Fit or Blast Camp, where you need reps at this point. You need as many reps as possible. And more is probably the quickest way to get to where you want to be. But there's a balance of it. And again, there's so much more that goes into winning. There's so much more, focusing on, the pit, focusing on scouting and strategy and game plans. And I guess that can kind of be lumped into the hard work category, if you will. How much time and effort you're putting into, having these meetings about a field, or, meetings about codes. Like, I would love if we got on a team call and we just talked for an hour about how we want to communicate on the field next year. Let's, and Tyler, you and I talked about this, right? You want to like help build out the code list and really dive into how we can be efficient, just as efficient as possible. So I guess that does fall under the hard work category, but I think typically when people hear hard work, they're picturing you like going to exhaustion,
sweating
at the field. Yeah. Sweating, going to exhaustion. I think it's more so dedication, right? Like being incredibly dedicated to winning, being incredibly dedicated to the team and to each other. That's ultimately, in my opinion, what it is. And again, everyone on this team has won so much, so I'm excited to just like pool it all together and form that into some kind of superpower. But there's definitely an aura about it too. Like you have to feel good. We've watched, these other super teams in the last couple of years not be able to pull the pieces together. And it was not because of lack of hard work. It was the wrong kind of hard work. It was like, you can't tell me that Houston Heat wasn't working hard. You can't tell me that Diesel wasn't working hard. I know those guys were at the field at 7 a.m., often, and they were also training in off weekend practices, and they were all working very hard, but it just was a little misguided, and they were missing, what brings that together. And so those are the things I'm referring to. And again, I think the Impact organization is really good at, like, again, look what they've done, throughout their entire career, but the last couple seasons, it's incredibly impressive. And yeah, I think it's going to be different than these other, organizations that have been assembled.
Yep. Yeah. And we got the whole crew, man, is just hungry. Everyone's chomping at the bit for this upcoming season. And I think we might even be getting all together for an exhibition, from what I understand, possibly in February, to play a bunch of different like styles of paintball. We're going to see if
is that February or January? I thought it was January.
I think it might be in the beginning of February or at the end of January. One of those two.
I'll be right back. I got to use the little girl's room.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then,
cool.
Back to some off-season moves. We also have Josh Taylor. He is going over to the Miami Kings.
Yeah.
So he'll be moving on over there. And then one of my favorite.
I'd be surprised not to see like Pat Kraft go there. It kind of, because my understanding is they're going to rebrand as New York Extreme, which is really
That's
cool.
what I've heard.
Yeah, which is really cool. We didn't want to lose that organization. So if a couple of those guys go over there and merge with like Kyle Berry, I know Kyle grew up playing with those guys. I think it's a good fit. I think that's could be a great situation. And there's a couple good, young talented Kings players that they could take and
Absolutely.
So
that'll be something to look out for too. We might see the return of New York Extreme through some new iteration. So that'll be interesting to watch as the offseason rolls on. And you're right, there are a bunch of New York Extreme players that we haven't even heard drop into the scene that are definitely going to be making some shifts and moves. Thomas Taylor, PK, these big names are going to be finding a team somewhere. And then Al Hernandez, he retired. So Al,
my goodness.
Yeah. We love you, Al.
I've been meaning to send him a message. Had a lot going on. For those that don't know, I lost someone very close to me this last Friday. It's been kind of a 3-month battle with cancer. And they finally took their last breath. So I've been really disconnected. Sorry if you've been sending messages. Haven't been too responsive to many. Don't take it personal. But yeah, Al is one of the ones that I've been meaning to reach out to, because he was one of the best teammates that I ever had. I got to play with him on Ironman, and Al was just the man. And he was stellar on the field as well. Just somebody that was willing to do the dirty work, total job doer, there for the team, big team guy. And yeah, he had a great career, bummed to see him
Yeah.
go. Very happy that he got to do it with Aftershock, kind of on his terms one last season and hang it up the right way. So congrats to Al for sure.
Yeah, Al, congrats, baby. And March, love you, bro. God bless you and the fam. I know it's been crazy, but you're a pillar in your family, and everyone's lucky to have you on their side through all these tough things that, life is not a smooth road, but when you have good people around you, it makes things better.
Appreciate that, brother.
Heart goes out to you, man. And also we got to keep an eye out. I think we might possibly see Cody Mikowski maybe, making a move. We'll keep an eye out to see what he does. Maybe he sticks with Revo, or possibly, going to another one of these pro teams. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, I could see Cody making a move. I'm curious to see what happens with the Ironman. Omara made the move. I'm surprised Henry didn't go with him. So I'm wondering if that's coming. This is still so early in the offseason, which is funny. Like usually no moves have been really made by now, at least no big moves, which I'm also thankful for. I'm really glad that I was able to give Dynasty an ample amount of time to kind of recover and get their ducks in an order and do things the right way. Obviously, I had an amazing career with Dynasty. It was the most legendary franchise to ever play the game. What those guys have done over the last 20 years is unprecedented. Don't think it'll ever be done again. And it was a really great opportunity to learn from that organization. So yeah, these moves, they've been done real early.
Normally it takes usually it's like nothing's happening. And then like the one domino will go, and then it's a bunch of dominoes, right? and sometimes it's been like maybe the month before the event, because you had Diesel, then you had the Saints, and then that creates, a trickle down effect, and then everybody else is like trying to make the move to get this guy because that guy moved here, this guy moved here. But I mean, we basically the first chess piece on the board moved, so now everyone's like.
But it wasn't just one. That's a thing too, because like these are kind of the players where like if Tyler were to leave Heat, then Heat's going to go and be like, okay, I'm going to get Raney, or like if Raney leaves Damage or Marcel, then that team's going to go after one of the guys that are here, but all the guys kind of went together. So it's like, who's out there? What can we do? What can we get? Who's available?
Yeah. Somebody messaged me, I won't call them out, but they're like, everybody's scrambling right now. Like what you just did was pretty ridiculous. I was like, nice.
Jeez. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of those messages, which is it's funny, all the old heads understand. Like if you've been in the game for like 20 years, they're like, this makes so much sense. This is the coolest thing that we've ever seen, and I'm like, means a lot to say, because
LB reached out to me and he's like, dude, that's awesome. And I was like kind of chatting with him a little bit about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is like, this is all the little grommets when we were playing against you guys, when you guys were, in your twilight career at the end of the career, right? And like we were just learning from those dudes, watching those dudes play, and they're like, he's like, this is a cool move you guys did.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show. Yeah, LB's such a legend, man. If you don't know who Brian Fow is, do your research. Go watch Push. Go watch these, iconic films about the top players in the world from that time. And he's actually out here in AZ. I'm going to try and meet up with him and maybe play some golf here pretty soon. Say what's up to him. He's the man. All right, we got go ahead.
No, I was going to say it actually meant a lot. Some of the people that did message. I mean, Skinny Kevin was so incredibly supportive. I can't say enough good things about Kevin as a coach and more so as a friend. To hear him kind of support me and understand the reasons I made the decision. Obviously, playing with you guys is a huge bonus. Also, like you, Tyler, still in a situation where need to kind of stand up for my family right now, and a little extra money is going to help. Really. My mom actually is going into surgery today. Hopefully all will go well, but it's just, the timing was undeniable, of everything of this happening. It almost makes it again, that much more magical to have this opportunity with this group at this time in my life. I was like, it's just something that I absolutely could not, say no to. And Oliver reached out, and Oliver was like incredibly supportive, loved the move. And, you know, he was excited. He's like, this is exciting for paintball. It shakes things up. You know, whoever's going to be mad, let them be mad. You know, you need to do this for you. And it makes fucking sense. And Oliver's obviously been in these shoes before. So with Dynasty, so, you know, hearing the support from some people very close to me and within the Dynasty camp has actually meant the world. It's been amazing. So I thank them for that. But yeah, you know, again, I think all of us fall back to, it was an opportunity you just could not say no to, just could not, in all facets of it. So,
yeah.
Any word from 89 yet, man? Like I want him in here. What is happening?
I know, dude. No word. Let me try calling him. Maybe if we just do a phone call, and I can.
And we got a bunch of questions in the Discord for you too, Rain. The people are going off this morning. Let's see. I got a great one from Papa Sosh out in Texas. What scratchers do they have up in Edmonton? Which one's you ripping up there?
Well, luckily we don't go to Edmonton too. I mean, I was on Impact for 5 years, and I take that back. I went there for like the lake, but I mean, we went there once to play paintball during the off season in the cold, and then every other time we were up there like at the lake just having fun. So like, I'm trying to think if I even gambled up there. Oh no, that's right. Poker Stars is banned in the States. So I remember I'd play on Zach Yakimak's account, Poker Stars account. I was like, dude, load your account up, man. Let me get under your name. And they go out on the boat, and I'd be like, I'm taking the day off, and I'd sit on his laptop and just gamble all day.
There we go.
All right, we're gonna call. We're calling Mouse.
Come on,
dude. He's not picking up.
What's funny is he's not. Who knows how he's gonna answer?
I know. You got to warn him immediately.
Yeah. We're leaving him a message too if he doesn't answer.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, buddy.
It was a rough night, dude. He went all out.
I guess.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Okay.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hi, Alex.
What are you doing?
Marcello. Yeah, we got Tyler and Raney here, your teammates. You committed to joining us this morning on PTG. The fans and everybody were really excited. Lots of questions for you. We're worried about you. I know you had a long night. Finally found a date, which was nice. So I'm, happy for you. But yeah, come on, man. We're still in here. So call us back and share some love, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Dude. He's all tuckered out.
That. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
our text last night, this guy, dude, he's something else. So I texted him at 7:30. I was like, PTG tomorrow. And originally we were going to do 3:30 in the afternoon, but because of my mom's situation, I'm going to have to be down there. I go, please. And he just responds, fine, bitch. I go, hell yeah. And then Raney let me know that, he had a poker tournament. He could only do, I was like, shit. What if we do 8 a.m.? Raney can make it too. Then he doesn't respond. So like 10 minutes later, I'm like, is that asking too much? And then he goes, I'm on a date, bro. Chill. And I go, okay, so 8 a.m. works. The people want you. He said, I guess, bro. Pay me. I said 8 a.m. it is. 8 a.m. it is. Didn't hear anything after that. So maybe he wasn't super committed.
No.
Seems that way, yeah.
Pay me. God.
Maybe you have to do one just with him later on, and I'll come in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Perfect. No, we'll get him. I think he needed us to pay him because I'm sure he spent probably like $500 on wherever he took his date out last night. He's
got the spot.
He goes big. He's got the spot. He's at Javier's.
Yep, that's it.
Oh man. I'm excited, boys. I really am. Again, the opportunities are pretty endless, and it's up to us to again, not only, one of the things that I had said too is, I think it's important that we're not too critical of each other as well, right? Because there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be, again, trial and error, but, and Raney brought this up too, just having fun with this opportunity again is so special. And really there should be a big weight lifted off of everyone's shoulders. Cause again, everyone has had enough success to retire and walk away at this point. And it'd be gravy. To me, this is like, not just bonus territory, but it's like it's whatever we want it to be. It is whatever we want it to be. So, we're playing with house money at this point, to have a gambling reference,
I mean, I'm
that's
hungrier.
That's the best place to be. Yeah.
Hungrier
Motivated
than I've ever
big time.
been. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna
100%.
go have some fun.
I can't wait to where, like, in these like intense meetings, it was almost like there was a moment like this at the wedding where people were like, I think it was you, Marcel, and someone, they were like talking about who's the better, and I was like almost just laughing because I was like, oh, this is so much fun. We haven't changed. We used to do this when we were younger. I was like, these dudes, I was like, are these serious right now? I'm like, they're dead serious. I was like, I love it. I love it.
All Mouse says anytime I talk to him on the phone is, I'm the best. You are the best.
Submit to
Mouse.
me. Why won't you submit that I'm the best? And I'm like, so the whole night after he said that, I'm like, I'm just trying to submit. Like, oh, I was just hitting them with it.
Well, that's that real, that real
It's
deal.
the competitor in him too.
Yeah.
And honestly, he is the best at what he does. I don't know anyone better at what he does. Period.
Was a dog.
He's the best at what he does.
That dog.
Yeah.
All right.
I can tell him that, but he's not here. But so I
I know.
I know.
He'll have to listen. We'll make sure he listens to the whole episode.
All right, let's dive into some more of these questions from the community. And thank you to everybody who shows out every day. It's paintball 7 days a week in PTG world, and it's so much fun. Honestly, one of the greatest accomplishments of my career, I know Marcello's, is building out this platform. It's like the new era PB Nation, and we appreciate all of you being in there. PTG Nation. Basically the worst. What are you looking forward to the most being on Impact? Raney, I think this one's directed at you.
Oh man, that's tough. What am I looking forward to the most? Honestly, the Bart speeches. I spent a half a decade getting like the most epic moments from him, and then I've been on a 6-year journey. I went to X Factor and Damage, and so like, those years that we were on Impact were magical. We had the Impact series. We had the best season ever in paintball up until this point. We had 3 firsts and 2 seconds. And Bart would just have, like, whether he was upset, happy, motivating, he just had these most epic speeches. And, I was joking with him before. I'm like, I guarantee it, Bart, there's nights you've thought about what we used to do, and because there's definitely nights where I've thought about it, these epic runs that I didn't think I'd get the chance to do again. So be able to, like, run it back and kind of come in a little more humbled and a little wiser. I'm really excited to listen to Bartman.
Yeah, Bart. Let's go, baby.
Oh, whoops. I was muted. All right. My question is from Caleb Duncan. He goes, question for all. How important is it to have a more personalized bond with team players so that it translates onto the field?
I mean, no pro organization is going to win a tournament unless you are extremely cohesive on and off the field. And that cohesion comes from, you can't fake it either. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be real from the heart. And you've got to really feel it in every cell of your buildup. And when you have that kind of energy flowing, everybody wants it as bad as you do, and you're all working really hard and having fun with that process, you get amazing results out of that. So we just got to make sure that, keep the energies booming and keep having fun with it and keep the process flowing in the right direction. And a byproduct of that is greatness. You're just going to get it.
No, 100%. Yeah. If you care about them off the field, you're going to care about them on the field. I think of the event, Marcello, that we won in, Amsterdam? Like, we just spent the first few days just kind of connecting, having fun. And, like, we even bailed on one of the practice days. We were like, dude, I don't want to play in the rain. You're like, I don't want to play. And we all went and hung out and did stuff together. And it's just like being able to connect that way and connect after Prague and have fun together, like, and go through the trial and tribulations. That made it, we were like, all right, this dude's in it. I'm in it. Let's go win together, right? Like, yeah, we didn't practice and, study the layout as hard as we could have that day, but that was not important in the process of us winning. I learned that from Impact. There was like one event we went 0-2, and Bart had us to go to Joe Rogan that night. And I was like so upset, so in my soul, because I'm like, I'm going to stay in the hotel and clean my gun and think about how we lost. Like, dude, you're not doing that. You're going to the show, you're doing this. And I completely forgot about paintball. And then the next day we went out and we went 2-0, and we didn't get relegated, didn't have to deal with that. So that's a huge part, in the game.
Dude, so Ty, that's exactly what I was referring to when I'm saying, it's not all about just quote unquote hard work. It's all these other things that go into the psyche of being ready to play. And there is truly something like when Archie came to Dynasty, I was so excited to play with him because I had so much love for Archie. And when we played on the Kings together, it was so much fun. Like we had so much fun that year. And you're right, after Prague was like, we went to the casino, we had a great dinner. Like it was awesome. We had a great time. That translates to the field. Like when you're on the field, I look over and I'm so excited to talk. I can't wait to be with you guys and look over and be like, Raney, back left, or like, hey, go up the middle, Tyler. Like I cannot wait to have those conversations on the field.
I just got the chills.
It really is powerful. It does translate because you enjoy it. So you're excited. You want to play for the people next to you. There's a lot to it. It's really, really powerful. I would argue it's the most powerful once you get to the level that we're at, where obviously experience is not much of an issue. And fundamentally we will be sharp. Once you have all those things in winning, I forget the exact quote and even who said it, but it was a very successful college coach, I think, but it's the difference. And it was in tennis players. So it was a tennis coach, not a college football coach. It was a pro tennis coach.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah. And it's like the difference between, the top 5% of athletes and the ones that win. It's not fundamentals. It's not time spent doing the thing. It's not experience. It's up here. It's the mental, and it's the mental state and the belief that you're going to win and the enjoyment. They kept saying like really successful tennis players, no matter what the outcome, they're like, man, I really enjoyed hitting that shot. Man, that match was really fun. Man, I just had a blast in that. I lost, but like there were so many fun moments, and there's something to that. Again, I think it's such a shift when you're coming up through the divisional ranks. It should be hard nosed and it should be difficult. And there should be like, it's a different process. But once you get to that upper portion where there's like, everyone, you kind of level out a little bit with experience. You can be a little sharper than others, all that. It's about chemistry and the mental like enjoyment of the game and what you're doing and the people you're doing it with. And that is, that's something that also Dynasty did very well for many years. Right. I do think the teams that win and have success, they kind of have that cohesion and that chemistry during those times. So I love that quote. Again, I totally butchered it, but it's something along those lines.
It was like, I saw that. It was like, well, I saw it on a reel. It was the difference between, he was talking about the difference between the top 25 players and like the top 5 players. Right. They come off the court and they just tell themselves how much fun they're having. Right. Yeah. And I remember thinking that, I'm like, so anytime something's going wrong, like, you get this is going wrong. It's like, I'm having fun. I'm out here playing paintball. I'm out here getting to travel to Chicago to play paintball. It doesn't matter that we're down by 3 or 4. Like, you put that to your side. And to touch upon what you said about like, having fun and doing well, it's like, I always refer to paintball like a Chinese finger trap. The harder you try sometimes, the harder it is to get out of your own way, or get out of that situation. Sometimes, like the events what I learned over the last few years, the events we won, I let go. I didn't worry about what this guy was doing or what this guy was doing. I was like, I'm going to own my job. I'm going to have blind faith that my guy's doing his thing, and I'm just going to have fun. And because I can't control what somebody else does. I can't control what the snake player does. I can't control what this guy does. I can only control myself. So don't try to influence the coach or influence the snake guy. Just help in every situation that I can, and just don't try so hard, especially when we're at our level where we put 100% of our time into this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's invaluable information right there.
Yeah, it's funny as a coach, I've done, use similar tactics. Like I remember there was an event with Wreck and Crew that we were playing in a Northeast league, the OPS out at Matt's Outback. And this was like back when they were Division III. And we got second place in the event, and I was really upset with how the players played because they kind of just didn't follow instructions. They made mistakes that we scrutinize and discuss and go over and practice over and over and over. It was like an inexcusable type of loss, right? It wasn't like, okay, we just got outplayed. It was like, guys, we're way better than this, what we did, so I felt that we had to go pretty hardcore. It was a one-day event on Saturday. We drove down to Boston and practiced all day Sunday at Maynard. Shout out to Boston Paintball. And I put them through an absolutely dreadful day of practice. It was kind of raining. They had to do it all. Players were throwing up. Players were, not happy. It was painful, right? I said, this was our punishment. Good. But then on the other end of it, there was another tournament where the first day we went 0-2, just like what you said, Raney. And that night I was like, guys, we're not having a meeting. We're going to go play some mini golf and we're going to go out to dinner and we'll have our meeting first thing in the morning. And then, it was 2 prelim games the next day and then on through the finals. We go out, we win those 2 prelim games, we make it on and we won the tournament. Right. And it was like, they were like, wait, we're not having a meeting. That's not like you. Like, what do you mean we're going to go play mini golf? What are you talking about? Like, it's all, yeah, it's a balance. Sometimes you need this, sometimes you need that, and you just kind of got to feel it. And that's kind of where the magic is being able to recognize when a team or certain players need something, like as a coach, I've learned that you can't coach every player the exact same way. You can't expect them to conform to you. Actually, as a coach, you need to conform to your players. You need to find a way to get through to like each individual and find a way to help them reach their potential. Right. And it's different for everybody. It's just the way it is. We're, as humans, we're all wired a little differently. We all need something a little different. So that again is kind of the, work harder, not smarter, or work, it's not all about just working harder, that conversation. So again, I just, I think we have all the tools and we have players that understand that. And to me, that's the difference between, this group and Impact and what, some of these other teams have tried to form.
Well said, man. Yeah, we got Osborne for this. Mr. Raney, regardless of team, what's your favorite jersey design that you have ever worn?
Oh, man. Well, I'll give some off Impact I really liked. I did like the Edmonton Oiler one. There was like an orange and blue one. We never played a tournament in it, but it was practice. I have one that I thought about wearing to our first practice. It's just like this classic Edmonton hockey one where it just says Impact with gray. And like we won in that one special. I really used to like the Aftermath City one. I have another Aftermath jersey that I thought was hideous that now is my favorite jersey that we won Jacksonville in.
Yep.
Yep. I used to not like that one, and that one I have, and it's like you can still see the champagne like with the black mold on it from like
shout out to Moose, baby. Shout out to Moose one time. Let's go.
So that one's like a special one. I'm trying to think. Like there's a lot of like jerseys I have that I wanted that I kept. I did like the Golden State Kings one. Like that one, that one's sick, right?
Love that one.
It's funny how you sometimes you look at a jersey like that jersey's really cool when you get it, and then you don't do well in it. You're like, I don't like that design anymore, And then the ones you win in, they grow on you, and you look at them and you think of your memories, and it positively reinforces how you think about that jersey.
Totally.
Heck yeah.
Nice. All right. From Grayson Gladstone, actually, he wants to know, how do you properly leave a team so that you can come back one day?
It's
an interesting question.
Don't and I've done it wrong before. I've trial and tribulations. I left Aftermath one time and I didn't talk to Bobby. I didn't talk to Mouse or Steven Pitts. Him gave me this, option to either just drop it off or do whatever. I just dropped my gear off and didn't say anything. Right. And then that didn't go well. And then I think I quit paintball at the end of 2009 and I did it face to face with everyone. Like, hey, I'm done. And that went well. So it's you just be honest and truthful with your guys and don't be scummy. And I called Joey up. I called Keith, couldn't get a hold of him. I called Joey. I texted CJ. I messaged the group chat and I just, was honest with Joey and
Mouse is calling.
Oh, here we go.
We'll get back to this.
Yeah.
Alexander Goldman, he's live on PTG, ladies and gentlemen.
We got him.
Is it live?
We're live, dude.
Oh man, I'll call back later.
No, this is perfect. No. This is exactly what you wanted. Yeah, you're on right now. What's happening? You missed.
Let's run it.
You missed most of the party, Mouse, but welcome. Better late than never.
Yeah, fashionably late.
Yeah, how was your night?
The night was great, from what I remember.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, things got a little wild, and I got sent home in an Uber.
Yes.
That's the first on a date.
You
On
got
a
sent
date.
home in an Uber from the restaurant?
No, so
Okay.
she works at a bar. We went to her work, and I was feeling quite the celebrating spirit, and I started buying people shots, and then that was it.
This is why you don't have any stocks.
Yes.
This is-
Why
Yes.
I have what stocks?
This is why you have no investments.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
Oh, I can screenshot my
there we
portfolio.
go. Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
He
don't
sent
you
it to
ever
me the
try
other
to
day.
air my
Raney,
stocks out on
Ra-
public.
He's crushing.
Raney told us you're crushing right now.
I am. So
Yeah.
I don't know why you would have said what you did, but
When did you buy your first stock?
I don't know, dude. When I was 18.
Oh, nice.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Mouse, you actually made it for like the perfect portion of the show. We're asking the guest questions, but Ty,
Nice.
I know you when we opened up probably had a few questions. I don't know if you got anything for Mouse, but we've just kind of been talking about the move, and
Come on, don't be shy.
All right. I got one for you. This one's from Verb. Your favorite food and your favorite place to eat it.
tequila and
Bro,
lime.
hey,
at
listen to
Javier's.
this. This is the craziest thing. So ever since I was a kid, my favorite dish for some reason has always been a salad. I'm not even kidding you.
All right. What are we putting in that thing?
Yeah. So it's just your usual lettuce, and then I always like some broccoli, carrots. It just depends from restaurant to restaurant, but I like to make it at home, just because I know what I'm putting in that thing. But
Of course, the
balsamic
ingredients.
vinegar. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's balsamic vinegar just every time. It ended up being like one of my nicknames on Diesel was balsamic because of how much I like salads. But
All right,
yeah,
we're gonna
for
keep
some
it
reason.
on tap for you.
All right.
We got that on tap. Yeah.
Bottles of
That was
balsamic.
on deck. There you go.
Hell yeah. And then
Fun fact about Mouse. Every time this guy eats and he's like having a good time, he starts humming. So like we'll be playing video games and I
Yeah.
can like, what's on the menu, man? What's on the
Wait,
menu?
we got Stanczak in here?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Holy shit, I
Yeah.
taught that guy everything he knows.
We were giving you credit, Mouse, for the best. You weren't here to hear it, but it was
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's
we
go,
did.
baby.
Mad love.
Hell yeah, I am the best.
Let's go, baby. All right, we got Rounder A, one of our community members, wondering what words
Rounder,
were
I know a Rounder.
Yeah, he's
Jordan.
in the chat.
Yeah.
He's actually one of our OG members in the chat. He's wondering,
he's always coming around, AHSBIZ.
he's the man, dude. What words were exchanged in the infamous game at World Cup when you guys got face to face?
No.
Nothing.
Words weren't exchanged. I literally just told that guy, we won, bitch. And that was it. He didn't say anything, though, which was weird because of how close he got. But, I know Zach. And I knew there wasn't going to be any animosity after that exchange there. And we were just we were playing the game, and we were trying to get something going, entertaining. And he knew the match was over, so I think it was just a bit of a frustration. And then you saw how much Clint and Ice bonus ball the shit out of him. So he was like caught in between, like wanting to do something but didn't, and he was just, I think he was just upset with how that match went. But I just kept it pushing. I wasn't going to entertain that thing.
Yeah, I was super impressed actually with the way you handled that. He kind of
thank you. That was 2 years of hell of what I've dealt with. So that right there in that moment was nothing compared to what I had went through. So that was just a cool little testament of like, you can get in my face, but you're not going to break me because of what I've had to deal with in 24 months. So
yeah. Sure.
Mouse, I got a question from Patty Rice. He goes, Mouse, at World Cup, you and all of Diesel was really showing everyone the potential realized of that roster. With your departure, do you think they can still maintain that newfound play and swagger, or did it just come
For sure.
a little too late?
No, I mean, that was the beautiful thing with leaving Impact and going and playing for a team that needed anything and everything of me as a paintball player and as an athlete to go out there and try to go produce wins for the team. So, it's really going to be on Dave with what he allows us to do on the field. And for me specifically, is, we all need reps, right, to go and do our thing. But that's, I think, going to be a little limited with how deep our roster is. But aside from that, he's got to allow creativity and freedom on the field, even when it comes to tournaments, to go and find our rhythm out there. Because I was able to scale a type of play where I could play a 2 or a 1, and I knew all paces from every bunker, and I was able to really dial in and find my rhythm.
Well, I love the answer, so I didn't interrupt, but the question was about Diesel. Do you think that with the departure, Diesel can still maintain that newfound play and swagger, right? Because it was, I think everyone watching understood that, this team is finally kind of coming together and starting to look good and play with some cohesion.
That was a really sad thing when I left that, is knowing that that team's on to something now. And it's more so with the changes that were made after Chicago in management, that kind of freed up the tension that those players were holding on to because of how management was dealing with certain players. And once that change was made, you could see that these guys started to play with that swagger and that confidence because they didn't feel that pressure from a certain person in management. So I think that will continue from that team. I think they will still be able to be a dominant team and possibly go on a run to continue being a top 4 team. It definitely doesn't help me leaving the team, but I know I left them in the best place possible for them to be able to understand what they need to go do this next season. So I wouldn't count that team out. That's for damn sure, especially too with Kyle being able to help Mark in the strategy and coaching roles, that they're going to understand how these fields play and understand the concept of strategy for each layout. So whether they have depth or not at this point, the team that's there, they're going to know what they need to go do, and they're going to be a tough team. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Yeah, you got any off-season predictions of other players that you think are going to make some moves?
Oh, I'll tell you, I do my thing. I focus with my guys. I don't give a fuck what anybody else does.
Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. Love that. I love that answer. All right, we got Papa Sosh. Do you know Papa Sosh?
I've heard the name.
Papa Sosh, dude, out in Texas. His question. Alex, your nickname has been Mouse. I guess it's because you were a shrimpy little kid on the team. You have been terrifying as a grown man for a while now. Is it not time for a nickname of a larger, fiercer rodent, maybe the capybara or the marmot?
Capybara, bro. I'm the Sosh, man.
It's Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is his name.
There
now.
we go.
Mighty Mouse.
It's just cool that name is carried since I was 15. 15 why that started. And when I started playing, I joined Aftermath at 15 years old, and I hadn't even hit puberty yet. So my voice was very squeaky, high pitched, and Winston, back in the day with the HK boys, and he ended up playing for Aftermath. He ended up giving me that name. So
the Lord.
I don't. Yeah, and, that's just what nicknames. That's how it happens. And once it sticks, it doesn't have to make sense at some point. It just somebody needs to check their emails.
Yo, my boy's a fool. Papa Sosh said capybara. That's crazy.
Capybara. I'll take that one too. I like that. Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
All right, we got CM Harry, and this is for both of you. Raney, we'll let you answer first. Raney, how does it feel to have the Aftermath crew back together? Why leave damage? You guys were doing really good this year. And then Mouse, you will follow with, how it feels to have the Aftermath crew back together.
All right.
Well, I mean, yeah, Damage they have a great owner, they have a great coach, and they have nothing but Hall of Fame players. That's why it was an easy decision to go to them, right? All those dudes play a lot of paintball. A lot of them are married to the game. And we were winning. I mean, I went there for 10 events. We made the finals 4 times. We won 3 of those out of 4 events. And I easily could have stayed and just rode that out. But man, like, it would have eaten at me not to be able to see what we could do as a unit, Mouse and I play PUBG together. So like the idea of being able to play the Snake with Mouse, like it just, I couldn't say no to that, and it's, I'm a gambler, right? I'd rather take the risk and it not pay off than not take the risk. You miss all the shots you don't take. So even if this was a 1 in 1,000 chance it works, which I don't believe that's what it is, I'd still take that 1 in 1,000 chance. I'd rather know that I gambled my last dollar away trying to hit it big, than to just be like, well, I still have money. Nope, I'm firing. So I'd rather take the shot and find out what happens. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I have 0 regrets taking that chance.
Love it.
Yeah.
Us.
I'll tell you this. When I ended up calling Mark to quit Diesel and I explained to him what we were putting together, he didn't even, there was not 1 ounce in him to try to fight back on what we did here. So that just shows you everything we're trying to do is like, it's really cool. It's you just can't argue. Like it just makes total sense, and I think everybody wants to see how this plays out because it's just one of those stories. It created itself. A lot of us started out playing together, and we went our separate ways, and the journey's been crazy. But now we've been able to reel this thing back in, and we put it together. And now it's time to see what we can do at the tail end of our careers. And you just know that there's something special here. And we're about to go do something big. Not to hype it up, but when I know, I feel it and I fucking know it. So.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah. Hey, are we going to see a PTG Tiger Wear collab dropping pretty soon here or what?
We don't really do collabs, but
what?
We would consider it. You just got to email us and we'll take a look.
That's exactly the answer I expected from you.
I'll reach out. I'll reach out to the boss. Yeah, I'll reach out to the boss, Kyle. And
take it up with management.
Yo, hey,
do much there.
You guys at the last WCPPL tournament had me dying laughing, bro. I could hear you guys bickering and going at it from the other side of the net. It was hilarious.
Yeah, we trying to make a party.
Yo, the things you were saying to Yaya had me rolling, bro.
Oh man.
No.
I'm pretty sure I threw a buzzball at him at one point. I feel bad about that. So if Chad listens to these things, this is a public apology.
It's on the record. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's on the record.
Yeah, you were a little out of hand towards the later.
Yeah. Well, hey, when am I not?
Yeah. Let that man go. Let him do it.
Yeah.
The villain.
The
villain. I was trying to put me in a cage.
The villain. Nice. All right. So whose turn is it for a question?
You got it.
I haven't heard Raney speak.
Raney.
Raney needs a speech, actually, at this point.
Speech. I've been letting you talk. We've been waiting for you, so I didn't want to I want to hear
Yeah.
you talk. We missed you on here, so the second you got in, I was
No,
like,
let's get a speech.
Rainey's been giving a speech for an hour and a half. Where have you been, dude?
2 yerba mates deep, dude.
Bro, you're over there eating salads. We needed you in here.
Hold on.
Put the salad down and get on
one.
the show.
I got one for him.
All right.
You're going to a tournament. Aside from your gear and your clothes, what 3 essential items are you bringing with you, Raney?
Well, I'm bringing yerbas. I packed them for the trip to my for Vegas. What essentials am I bringing?
2 more.
I'm bringing a shirt for Sunday night.
You have shirts.
He said clothes. That's included.
Yeah, clothes are included. Come on.
I'm pre-thinking what I'm going to wear Sunday night when we win. I always have one ready on every team.
You still need 2 more because you got the clothes. You need 2 more.
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
he's cheating. The guy doesn't know how to not cheat.
I learned from the best, like you said, right?
No. Can you guys pull up stats like Jamie from
It depends on the stats. Do the stats exist?
Stevie's in the background. We got young
got more
Stevie.
penalties this past year.
We don't keep stats on it, but
you guys needed Jamie.
I think
you guys needed Jamie, like Joe Rogan's podcast.
I know. We're getting there. Young Stevie's going to be back here soon enough. We just need to pay him a little more.
He's not here.
He's not here.
Oh, fuck.
I'm usually the one pulling up or either one of us can just hop online and.
Well, then it's inaccurate if you're doing it.
All right, Raney, 2 more. Come on, you're on the spot.
Okay, well, I don't know if this counts, but I bring a song every event. I have a different song, and I'll listen to it on repeat.
Oh, that's good. There we go. Okay.
So when I train before the event, when I'm like whatever's going on, I have that song, and then before the match, I'll listen to it on repeat. And Mouse, you know this. Like once I get a song in my head, it's just like just goes over and over and over, right? To the point where it's like almost annoying. I roomed with someone one time and they like started playing music over, and I'm like, dude, if this is too much, just tell me, I'll turn it off. And then I'm trying to think, what else will I bring to an event? Good question. Man, I don't know. I think I don't bring a lot of things special.
I mean, guys, listen. The question was brutal because how can you not say toothbrush, toothpaste, and deodorant?
I tried to say aside from all the obvious things.
No, you didn't. You said clothes and gear. Like, okay.
No, he meant 3 special things. I know what you meant.
Okay,
we know Raney doesn't brush his teeth.
Oh, man. Just hit it.
And when you're up late at the poker table, sometimes you just don't have time for it.
No, there's no excuse.
I brushed my teeth yesterday.
No excuse.
You give me a 15-minute break, I go brush my teeth.
I mean, why are you getting so close to him to even know that, Mouse?
You don't have to get that close. That's the problem.
Oh God,
Raney, I've never known you to have bad breath, Raney.
He's just cooking.
Yeah,
he's just
well, that's a good friend right there. He's throwing a lot.
All right, what are you bringing, Mouse? What are your
Yeah, Mouse, what are you bringing?
For this episode, because you always do like a picture for the thing, you got to put a picture of Raney and then like just green gas coming out of his mouth.
Oh, you're too much.
It's not going to be happening. I think I think I have the perfect photo. This is going to be a fun.
There we go. Yeah, we're brainstorming. We're brainstorming. This is just in real time. We're trying to figure it out.
All right, it's back on you.
You get
what are
so
your 2?
Sensitive when anyone says the slightest thing about you, yet
you're
full attack. I just would like you to recognize this moment.
I'm the comedian. You don't fucking make fun of me. It's not jokes about me. We're making fun of the rest of the world.
You are the joke most of the time.
No, I'll beat you up too if you want.
Fuck yeah, we can fight
we'll turn this whole thing around. Matter of fact, I'll fucking run this podcast. You want to play games?
Get over here. Could you please edit this and post it and do everything?
Yeah, you need to edit it. I'll put that fucker in a chokehold.
This is a family show.
It's a family show, and they need to know. Kids, wives, all of them. I'll fucking take over. You want to have an attitude, Marcello?
Raney, apparently, Raney, you got to fix your attitude in PUBG too.
Yeah, he does. And I ended up telling Dave that if he wants to get on my case about little things, that this isn't going to go well. So you guys really need to check your attitudes at the fucking door. And I came here to win. And if you guys got other plans and an agenda that doesn't fit my
dude, we're gonna be all over you, bro. We're all over you, dog.
Yeah.
I honestly
Tyler,
think that it's
Tyler, I'll tell you, I've been on good terms with you for a long time. But if you want to put this thing on a rocky path, dude, you'll be climbing a tall, steep mountain, and you'll be kicking rocks. So let's not get started here.
Okay,
for everybody listening, I wish you could hear the conversations that me and Mouse have. I joke that we could probably charge people to listen to us for an hour and a half. Because it's
couldn't air it.
It's a podcast.
Him going
it's a podcast, and I'm trying to teach this guy life. And the thing is, he's fucking sour because he knows. He knows, like,
I
knows
him
the lesson
the entire time, and I don't let anything slide. And he goes, "Why can't you just submit to me, man? I don't get it. Why can't you?" And I right now I'll let it slide, but I cook him the entire time.
Sounds like our conversations too. We'll be an hour in. Like this should.
I'll tell you right now. I went on a date last night. I have no idea how this thing ends up going forward.
Well, it sounds like you need to go get your car.
No, yeah. Somebody got my car.
Oh man.
Damn it, man.
Where'd you guys go last night? Was it Javier's?
No, we went to this place called South of Nick's. Really nice. It was
South
fun.
Of Nick's. I know that place.
Yeah, that's where I was texting you. Let's do this thing. And then we went to her work where she works at a bar. And after that, oh my God, I fucking blacked out. And
well,
yeah.
Listen, dude, we need you to be focused on next year. This drinking and being out late and focusing on just distractions. It's not gonna
paint the picture.
It's not gonna be good enough. It's not gonna be good enough. I understand it's off season, but we should be working hard, and we're just not gonna accept anything less than what we know we deserve. So you better check that shit at the door, Mouse.
Dude, you do,
dude. I could win a fucking tournament today.
I could win a tournament today. I believe it, dude. Fucking best.
Hey, my boy's thriving. He's thriving. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I'm foaming at the mouth.
Yeah,
I know.
Let's get it.
I gotta take my retainer out, but I'm fucking foaming, dude.
Do you still wear that thing?
I got it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, you got
me wearing retainer. Yeah.
All right, Mouse. What are your 2 items that you're bringing? 3 or 3?
It was 3. Yeah, it was 3. I'm doing sunscreen for my face. Mm-hmm. I'm doing I got pre-workout powder that my specific, it gets me going before every match. And fuck. I mean, what's the third item, man? I'm trying to think here.
It's right there. Just do it.
I'm in a blender. I mean, I know I said aside from clothes, but I definitely need an extra pair of underwear in case the trip goes crazy.
Dude.
I can't.
All right, the show's over, dude. The show's over.
Man. We got canceled.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't have to answer.
Sorry. Sorry to the families, man.
It's all right.
Man.
Let's see.
So funny. Dude.
Let's see. What else do we have? There's
I'm in a blender.
Blender.
Yo. Dude.
You guys wanted me on here.
I love you so much, dude. I cannot wait to see you. Oh man.
Okay.
Fired up.
Hey, Blaine Thor. Sorry. He, I believe it's a new GOAT member. So welcome. He goes, Alex, now that you got the band back together, how does it feel knowing that you now have another chance at winning gold and possibly World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, this was the plan. This is what we set out to do. This is what we've been talking about for years to try to put together. So, but we're also smart enough to know not to hype this shit up.
Yeah.
Because, nothing is exciting, but nothing's been done yet. So all four of us, we know to fucking keep our head down and stick to the grind until we start seeing that success, because we know how gruesome that fucking journey can be if you start adding on all the hype and fall into the mix of the talk. So no, I think we're gonna do it right. So
yeah, that's like people saying congratulations to me, and my internal self-talk. My internal self-talk is really dark. Yeah. And I'm like, I haven't done shit. That's what I want to say, But then, I say thank you. I'm grateful. But my internal mind is like, I'm not happy. I'm pissed off, actually. Like, I haven't done anything, and that's the hunger we got to keep, and the drive we got to, propel into the future with.
That actually, Ty, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask back-to-back questions because J Tuck has a perfect one to piggyback off that. He wants to know, Mouse, other than the obvious fact, actually, I would like to ask both of you, other than the obvious fact that it's different players, what makes this super team different than the last super team you were just on? What things do you foresee being done differently to ensure your success? And you did allude to it a little bit right now, but I think this is a great question.
No, that's a great question. As far as talent, I mean, it's right up there with the previous super teams that have been built. But what makes it special is the history we have between each other and how deep we can get in conversation and being able to critique each other without getting offended because of how well we know each other is going to be able to create something very special here. So, and I know that's why we're so excited, because we know each other so well and we're so comfortable with each other. It's just great to be around a group that you truly know on a personal level. And, we've all been on our own journeys and playing for teams that I'm sure we grew and created bonds with the teammates that we had, but nothing can replace what we've been able to create organically through our journey, because we started out doing this thing together.
Amen, dude. Well said.
That's right. Put your drinks up.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mouse. Tequila shots for everyone.
That's right. No, I ain't doing it.
Raney, do you want to?
Well, I was going to say, there's nothing Mouse can say that I haven't heard before, right? Like, you're not going to say something and be shocked, right? So I'm never going to be offended by anything that anybody says.
I got more coming for you.
It's okay. I'm ready. But it just listen and let the person just say what they want to say and let them get it off their chest, But why I think this is different than other, organizations. I mean, like, the foundation that Bart and Dave have created, like, attitude reflects leadership, and those dudes are great leaders. Right? And I've kind of had those, mental conversations with myself about how to approach this. And, I discussed this with Mouse a bit. It's like, man, I'm okay being an Indian. If Marcello wants to take charge and do this, I'm like, dude, I'll ride on that ride, right? Like, lead us, right? Dave wants to lead us. Like, I don't care. Whatever my role is, I'm going to play that role and embrace it, and that's the best thing that I can do going forward with this team, and I just think we will be successful because of, look at all the individuals around us. Everybody here is winners. Everybody has won together. And, I'm not really worried about it, truthfully.
Yeah, well said. I think I think we all feel the same. Again, it's about what we could accomplish together. And I think everybody understands, how important it is to leave the ego at the door and to, Mouse, I'm going to mute you because if you have us on speakerphone, try to take that off. But I think all of us have obviously played on a few different teams and gone through these phases where we were forced to grow because, our type of individual leadership wasn't received or our type of play style wasn't received. And so we've all kind of grown to a place of understanding the importance of being able to work well with others and being able to actually be a good leader, which, when we were younger, I think we all just had that desire and didn't quite understand how to actually succeed in doing so. So I think we all bring, a much more mature version of our younger selves, which is going to help the whole process, And again, Raney, you're right. I love to keep drawing back to Impact itself and that organization, what they already have in leadership and what they already have in culture, from top down, from ownership, coach, players. So I think it's going to be an amazing blend. And, again, like already having conversations with, the guys on the team, everyone is just excited and on the same page of what it's going to take to do this the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The people want to know, Mouse, what's your next tattoo? We got Kev in the chat.
And tell him don't worry about it, but I got a lot of artwork that I've put together when I get back out to Bali.
When are you going to Bali?
I wanted to go this, initially November again, and then I wanted to go in December, and then it just time caught up, and I wasn't able to plan it. So maybe, because I know Bart likes to do the lake house up in Canada in the summer trip. So I don't know if I could find time in the summer.
Ooh, that's a bad. I don't think that's a good time to go.
It's not?
I don't think so. I think it's incredibly hot. But
we like the heat.
That's true. But we should plan a little team trip for sure on something like that. But December and January.
I'm going on my own.
Okay, you could go by yourself. Last time you went by yourself, you brought some chaperones, so stop it.
Dude, Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle. Wink,
wink.
Yeah. December and January, we should be playing quite a bit. So don't go to Thailand, buddy.
You don't tell me what to do. If I want to book a trip, I'll go do what I want. But I'm sticking around.
I'm just saying, dude, look, if you're gonna lead us the right way, man, got to lead through action. You can't just tell us what to do.
I got it. You just watch.
That big dog's gonna eat. Dude, didn't you sit
just
in like how long was your session to do that last piece you got? You sat there for hours.
Yeah, so my leg took 3 days in a row. Back to back to back, 8 to 10 hours a day. And then I took 1 day off, and then I did my entire back 2 days in a row, 8 to 10 hours.
Yo. And then you hopped on a plane and sat on it?
Yeah. At that point, sickness was kicking in. I ended up getting diarrhea, and I was throwing up, and my back was gabbing up. Oh man. And I had a girl come over for the first few days trying to help me out, and I didn't even know her that well, and she shouldn't have been there because I was not comfortable. And so when she left, the explosion started. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I was definitely sick. Oh man. I got what they call Bali belly.
Bali belly.
Yeah, it was an eruption.
No, I'm gonna piss my pants.
Man.
We gotta end this. This is done.
Yeah.
It's cooked.
It's cooked. It's
getting good. It's getting good.
It's getting real good, man. I need to get on the toilet just thinking about it.
No. Oh my God. Hey, this is the shit. All right. And we love you all. Thank you for tuning into PTG. We cannot wait to see everybody soon in the new season. And Sound off in the chat. Let's go talk in the chat, everybody.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, and this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we have our monthly GOAT meeting. It's a live stream just for the GOATs in the Discord. Easy to become a member. Just go to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link. That one's going to be lit. Going to be definitely one of the most fun ones. November, December are always cool. And then obviously this massive shakeup. So looking forward to getting, a little more personal and answering some more questions for everybody in there. But Raney, Mouse,
you can also whoop Mouse up in fantasy football. We have a whole league in there.
Yeah, facts.
Hot good. Hey, listen right now.
All right, I love you guys, and I'll be
guys.
talking to you soon.
All right, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
See ya.
All right.
Late.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link in the corner, and support the show. We greatly appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1.99 a month. That is nothing, guys, and it'll give you access to the Discord, where you get access to the players chat and get to mingle with the entire PTG community. We have tons of different pros in there. Tyler and myself are very active, and it's an amazing way to support the show. We also have amazing other tiers. If you want to be one of the best, want to be a GOAT, sign up for the GOAT tier. It's the greatest way to support us. And each month we do a private live stream show, one-on-one kind of thing, to where it's just the GOATs, and Tyler, myself, will bring in some special guests every now and then, but you get to ask us questions in real time, live on the air, and you get lots of inside juicy news that we don't share on the show. So, as always, we will see you guys very soon.